This is the Game Changers Experience. Deep dive conversations with leading business disruptors, Olympic athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and influencers from around the world. This show will teach you insights about the winning principles in mindset, productivity, marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, business strategy, and more. Hosted by Productivity Authority, business strategist, former elite athlete, author, and public speaker, Adam Strong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Game Changers Experience Power Up Thursdays episodes with myself, Adam Strong. Interestingly enough, we're coming towards the end of the year, and 2020 has been pretty tough for a lot of business owners out there and entrepreneurs, including all of our listeners. And just through some of the dialogue and conversations that I've had, right, is one of the observations that I have found is that a lot of people have found it very tricky to come up with new ideas to try and reinvent their business, to have the best year in 2021. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm actually going to create and dedicate an episode specifically on that, which is all about how exactly I create new ideas. Now, what I'm about to give you is entirely up to you how you use it, right? What I was going to say to you is that if you go through the steps, if you take the steps on board that I give you, then I'm going to be damn sure that you're going to be far more confident and armed with a series of tools about how you can create some new ideas in your business. All right. So I'm going to give you a series of steps. So make sure that you got your pens and paper handy, because I'm going to go through these things. And then I'm going to give you an exercise at the end. And again, I want you to imagine that I'm sitting with you on the sofa right now, and I'm either coaching or mentoring you, because I can guarantee you that if you take the points on board that I'm about to give you, you will go a lot further in life. Your business will go a lot further, and you'll be more successful and you'll get more results, right? That's what I would love each and every single one of you guys to have, is a lot more results in your life. So how do I create new ideas? Well, first of all, it's going to sound really, really stupid, right? But actually, rather than creating an idea, it's actually not to think about the idea itself, but more importantly, to think about the problems that you're trying to solve, right? So I've done this, and you've probably done this, especially some of our experienced, established business owners, I don't know if you've ever done this, but is launching a product or a service or a solution or whatever it might be. And you put a lot of time, effort, and resources into it. You had lots of enthusiasm and excitement without really kind of giving any proper thought to how the problem is being solved. And the big problem for that is, number one, is that you end up what they call creating a solution in search of a problem, right? So now I've done that. Many people have done that. I want to give you a really good analogy of that. I remember, I think it was going back a couple of years ago now, good couple of years ago. And one of my big challenges is I was going through, so I travel from Scandinavia to the UK on and off a basis, right? And I've got a young family. And one of the things that really pisses me off, right? Excuse my French, but it really annoys me, is the fact that in Scandinavia, in kids' snacks like little chips or biscuits or just something that they can nibble on when they're out and about, are so expensive. They're not very bioavailable, and just choices are really limited. Whereas in the UK, there's a lot more choice. It's a lot cheaper. You can buy them in multi-packs. It's a lot more convenient. You can buy it everywhere. And so one of the big frustrations for me, and it was really bugging me, man. I was basically going to the UK, purchasing my snacks for my son and bringing it back to Scandinavia, right? Which is great. So I was getting upset about this. And I thought to myself, well, how about other people experiencing this problem, right? And so what I wanted to create a subscription model. And the subscription model was all based around, getting baby snacks from our company to our customers in the quickest way possible. And it will be like a weekly, fortnightly, or monthly subscription. And it will be for busy parents that forget to take their snacks with it, which are affordable, healthy, and on the go. Now, it didn't work. And the reason it didn't work is because number one is I failed to really identify, see if there was a market there in the first place, right? So that was one of the reasons for that. Secondly, I didn't take into depth or into detail the numbers involved. So I did have people that were prepared to pay the money, but I would have to go through so many quantities. I would have to acquire so many members and new customers in order to make it financially viable. So the margins were really tight. And for those of you that are in e-commerce and in food and drink in particular, you'll know that margins are a lot smaller than anything else, because you've got to take into consideration the logistics, you've got to take into consideration the taxes and the labor. So there's so much considerations that you've got to take in. And it just didn't work. So I wanted to kind of give you that idea of, and again, you've probably done this, right? You've probably done this. And I want you to really kind of take that into consideration. Number two, I want you to start identifying problems that you can solve. And we've spoken about this on numerous Power Up Thursdays episodes and with other interviews as well. But if it doesn't solve a problem, then guess what? It is doomed to failure. It's not going to work. If the need and the pain isn't there enough, then it's just simply not going to work. All right. There's no point in trying to mold a solution around a problem. Okay. You've got to fix the problem, identify the problem, and then come up with a solution afterwards. A lot of entrepreneurs and business owners do the complete opposite. You need to solve a problem that people are really prepared to pay for it. Okay. Because if people are not prepared to pay for it, then it's not financially viable. Therefore, you can't make it into a business. It's just not worth moving forwards for. And the way that you can identify problems is, number one, is through your personal life and experience. Now, I've just shared with you my personal life experience about when I took the trip from Scandinavia to the UK, and enduring that experience of that frustration of not being able to get it in Scandinavia, but it's available in the UK type thing. And then I just thought, well, is there a market for it? So through that, my personal life and experience. So that's the first thing. Secondly, family and friends. Through family and friends, and here's a really good example of that. Okay. So if you look at the way when Apple first came about, when Steve Jobs, when he spoke to his friend Steve Wozniak, right? Apple wouldn't have existed if he didn't have conversations with his friend. So that's a really good example of that. So what can they bring to the table? What ideas what pain, what frustrations do they endure, right? Number two, what is the industry? What about the industry? Is there an opportunity in terms of the industry out there, in the industry that you are specifically working in, whether it be consulting, whether it be in law, whether it be in recruitment, what is it that you can fulfill to make people's lives easier, right? Is it the fact that, say, for example, companies are finding it extremely difficult to attract talent, right? Can you create a piece of technology, an app, I don't know, something that it maybe involves that's going to help people's lives to make it feel easier for themselves? And then you can add certain features and benefits along the way. And the fourth one is keeping your ears and eyes open all the time. Because you know what, for me, I get opportunities and ideas come with me over and over again. In fact, I have a real problem going to sleep most of the time, because I come up with so many great ideas. Okay. And then what I do is I actually have my notebook, which I have here, by the way. I write down my ideas and I write them down on a piece of paper, so they're not cemented in my brain, because otherwise my brain is just going to consistently tick over. I don't know if you've ever had that, but it's really frustrating just coming up with ideas over and over again. So I want you to look for problems that, well, number one, that have a personal connection to you. So for example, if you have, I don't know, if you are I don't know, into organic food, for example, right? So it means something to you, right? Or it has to feel important to you, because if you identify problems that you have an interest in, that you're passionate about, that essentially you feel that you could add some value to, then that is going to help you go through the process of creating these new ideas, number one. But number two, when you create the solution, the people that are buying it from you, they're going to buy your enthusiasm and your energy more than anything else. So I want you to really kind of bear that in mind. Number three, evaluate the problem. Now there is a two-step formula that I use in order to evaluate the problem itself. Okay. So the first one that I wanted to share with you is, by solving the problem, will customers or clients be prepared to pay for it? So that's the first thing. And secondly, is there enough pool of people, essentially, to be able to sustain a business in order for it to move forward? So if there's not a big enough market, right, then there's no point in moving forwards, right? So if you can, when we talk about niching or niching or whatever you want to call it, okay, that's great. But if the market's too small, then you may have to rethink the idea, or alternatively, think about different segments or different markets and go with a bigger market. Because when I speak to a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs, and they say, oh, so this is great, who's it for? They're like, for everyone. But if you say that, it's going to be really difficult to laser focus how you're going to essentially create a marketing message which is going to resonate with people, right? So really important. Off the back of that, when I evaluate a problem, is there a way to beta test it? Can I do my market research by creating polls and surveys, for example? Google Forms is great. Monkey Survey, LinkedIn have a great feature on LinkedIn as an example. Facebook, you can do like a little quiz as well. There's some great stuff online. If you type into Google online quizzes, there's some great platforms now where you can actually create a simple quiz, and it's great for engagement as well. Because when people love to give their opinions, people love to get involved. They love to get involved in the process and feeling part of that and providing feedback. Now, the bigger the pain or bigger the problem, the more money that people will pay for it. Okay. And, it's a bit like if I was suffering from a sore back, as an example. Okay. I went to, I went to the doctors and they provided me with a painkiller, right? It's still there. Then that turned into a headache, and now I've got headache and back pain. Right now, the problem's getting bigger. Now I've got to find another solution or an ailment. Okay, and now that solution or ailment might be that, I don't know, I get multiple medications, they don't work, and now I'm going to go to somebody else, and eventually I find it, but it's going to cost me 10 times more than what I thought it was going to be. So the bigger the pain, the bigger the problem, the more likely chances that you can charge more for it. All right. And where can you find these people to essentially, talk about your market research? Well, there's forums, there's Facebook, there's social media, there is communities that you can contribute and ask for opinions. People love getting opinions. I really, I'm part of some great business communities, right? And when I say I'm thinking about doing this, or I've got a new book out and I've got 3 different covers, or I'm launching a new summit and these are the graphics type of thing. And people just love giving their own opinions and that kind of stuff. And it's great because what it does is, again, it creates curiosity, it creates enthusiasm and energy. They want to be involved in it, right? So it's really, really important. Number 6 is, how big is the market? And when we talk about the market, we're not just talking about, okay, well, if I want to focus on specifically, say, for example, it was a technology product, all right, and it had some built-in AI or whatever it might be, okay, and I was focusing on HR directors between the ages of, say, 35 and 55, okay? Well, how many HR directors are there in the market? What industry am I going after? So I want you to really think about that. Really, really important. Number 7 is, list existing solutions and substitutes. So is there something that's already been created out there? So if I wanted to, say, lose weight, right? What are the existing solutions or substitutes that's currently out there? Well, there's nutritional stuff. There is exercise stuff. There is mindset programs, right? there are so many different, should we say, remits off the back of that about how to lose weight. Okay. So list down the current solutions. Is there a gap in the market that you can identify? Number 8 is research the competition. It's so important to research the competition. You can see what else has been, who else has created your idea, because most ideas have been created, right? Some haven't, but who is the competition? Number 1. All right. What is it that they actually offer in terms of their solution? What are the benefits of there? And what are their strengths and weaknesses? So I always make a list of what I call features and benefits, right? What are the features? So for example, an Apple iPhone, the features of an Apple iPhone is that it might have a 12 megapixel camera. It might have an XP processor as an example, right? Whereas the benefits is, well, I'm going to create clear and crystal sharp images. I'm going to do high definition video. That's the benefit. So think about features and benefits. So that's the next one. I was going to say, number 9, execution. So ideas are great, but without execution, they are completely pointless. It's all about how you're going to take action. How are you going to execute, right? And I'm going to give you an exercise at the end of this. The next thing is test, right? So if you've got what I call a minimum viable product, right? So it's the first version of say you have an app, okay? And I identify some users to essentially beta test my product, right? It has the very bare minimum. It has it just have the bare bones of the product, which is going to help me fix my problem. And then I can add some extra things as I go along, but based on the feedback, and then can make certain changes to that product or solution or whatever it might be. And based on that, then I can make the certain changes, then launch the products, then add extra features and benefits as I go along. All right. So I really want you to really think about that. So what I would like you to do, okay, now it's up to you if you do this, it's entirely up to you, because obviously I'm not there to kick your ass more than anything else, but I can definitely tell you this, right? If you do this exercise, okay, you will be not only a better person, you will have a clearer idea about how you can create new ideas for 2021. That's the second thing. But more importantly, it's an education. You get out what you put in. Okay. So if you're the type of person that just wants to listen to me, then great, fantastic. But what you think about is the whole point of these sessions really is to, okay, well, if Adam is telling me to do this, then shouldn't I really listen to him? Yes, you should, because the reality is that, I'm giving you a blueprint for success. This has worked in my business. It's worked for my clients. It works for many other people, right? And always learn from the best. So it's up to you whether you take my points on board. It's entirely up to you. So exercise that I'd like you to do off the back of this, okay? I want you to write down 4 challenges in your business that you have right now, whether it be a lead generation challenge, whether it be a recruitment challenge, whatever it is, okay? And then I want you to come up with the 4 solutions, all right? And the reason I want you to do this is purely because if you have a lead generation problem, right? So say lead generation is a challenge as an example, right? Well, what are some of the things that some of the new ideas that I can create in terms of solutions? So for example, if a lead generation problem, right? Could I launch a podcast to build brand awareness, right? Will it generate leads? I don't know. Can I create a online digital conference? Okay. And it'll be on 3 days. It'll be over 3 days. That will probably generate some new leads. That would generate some brand awareness. So I want you to think about, what are your 4 challenges in your business? It could be sales, it could be recruitment, whatever it is. And what are the 4 solutions? Write down those 4 solutions and execute. Make sure that you have a timeline and a deadline about when you're going to complete them and by when. Okay. So I want you to really kind of take this on board. It's entirely up to you how you go about doing it and that kind of stuff. So remember, no idea is any good without execution. Okay. There's no point. Completely waste of time. So listen, I hope that you've enjoyed today's insightful Power Up Thursdays episode. I certainly have enjoyed speaking to you guys. I hope you get some great stuff out of it. And listen, provide some feedback. Reach out to me. And if you are stuck, do me a favor. hit me up on social media. The links are below on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and any of those mediums or whatever it is. Or alternatively, go to my website, adamstrong.net, fill in the contact form, and me or my team will get back to you in due course on whatever it might be. So listen, have a fantastic day, week, month, whenever you're listening to this. We'll see you soon on the next Game Changers Experience Power Up Thursdays. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, you guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening in to this episode of the Game Changers Experience. I hope that you got some amazing value, some great insights, and golden nuggets that you can implement into your business straight away. I would really, really appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review on the button below. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.